Campaign veteran who worked on both the Kerry and Obama presidential campaigns. Really leading? He was leading in Iraq when ISIS took over and started forming an Islamic State?
Look, I think it's pretty rich to have somebody from the Bush administration come on here and lecture the Obama administration on its foreign policy blunders.
Really?
I do, in fact.
Plenty of blame to go around.
There is. And you know what, though, Megan? I don't want to take this opportunity to play the blame game, because it really is the case that, as a Republican senator said back in 1950, politics should stop at the water's edge. When it comes to facing our adversaries and sending a message to the rest of the world, there should be some unity that we project as a country. And
did you say that to your side during the Iraq War when they were saying kill Cheney first?
Nobody I know said kill Cheney
yeah,
first.
You should have walked around the Upper West Side during 2006, 2007, because they were wearing T-shirts.
There were a lot of people that were opposed to the Iraq War, voted against the Iraq War. A lot of people that, in hindsight, were pretty prophetic when it comes to what we should have done.
It didn't really stop at the water's edge then, and it's not really stopping at the water's edge.
No, it didn't. But once the Bush administration made the case and made the decision to go to war, you didn't hear a lot of people, except from the very fringe elements of the left. You have Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters coming on and calling his commander-in-chief timid on national television. You didn't get that under Eisenhower. You didn't get that under Ronald Reagan. You didn't get that when Republicans were supporting President Truman back in the 1950s. This is a crisis of, I think, unity.
But they would say it's caused by a crisis in leadership.
They are going to say that because they're going to score political points, and they're going to, jump on President Obama's approval ratings and kind of stomp them down as much as they can, because they're operating in this partisan political environment. I think for the most part, even the Republican commentators have to concede that, does Syria have chemical weapons now as a result of our diplomatic efforts? No, they don't. Have we made more progress in this last administration in Iranian nuclear negotiations than we have in the last 3 administrations combined? Yes, we have. There have been real successes. The seeming inability for any Republicans to give the Obama administration any credit.
Okay, but the problem is that the Cold War seems to have gone from cold to hot. That we now, where Joe Biden had declared Iraq potentially his administration's greatest success, it now is an Islamic caliphate where they're committing horrific crimes against humanity every day. Israel is at war. That's not good. And that was a process, supposedly the peace process, spearheaded by John Kerry. So you can see how the critics have some issues with this professed success and leadership.
Absolutely, and it's not unpatriotic to criticize or to question the policy of your president. What I do get concerned about, though, is when we have an incident like in the Ukraine right now, where that kind of that knee-jerk criticism sort of inhibits people from thinking strategically. Let's play chess rather instead of checkers. Who has the most leverage with Russia? Let's just to take this example. Europe represents 50% of Russian trade. We represent less than 5%. All the European
we have some influence with them.
We have economic,
but that's how we started the show.
But not as much as Russia, not as much as Europe.
That's my point. But we began with the show by saying, is it a fair criticism of the president to say, now is the time when you should make your case? Why don't you look at the Europeans and say, look what he just did. He basically indirectly or directly brought down a passenger jet of 298 people. Why are you so focused on the investigation into the crime scene? Right,
and we don't know. Mark Thiessen doesn't know. Ralph Peters doesn't know. I don't know, Megan, whether the president is on the phone right now with, President Hollande, Prime Minister Cameron.
So it's happening in the back rooms, but he won't say it in the camera.
He could be in the Situation Room right now,
or he could be at a fundraiser. I gotta go.
He could be doing any of those. He could do both.
I gotta run. He says he can walk and chew gum at the same time. All right, there's a